Your brain needs to understand that so that you can be able to live above circumstances and challenges of life that tend to depress and stop you. He wants you to be joyful and cheerful in the midst of the challenge. And in order to do that, he says, bear in mind, I have already overcome the world for you. So when the problem is on and the heat seems to be rising and the pressure is coming from the devil, I am supposed to remember he has already overcome. And so I stay calm. So the brain is needed to recognize this and to think in this direction so that we can attain success. The brain is a seat of knowledge, creativity, and imagination. The brain also is a memory bank. So you can see it has a lot of resources available onto it. You can draw from your past, draw from your experiences, draw from the conclusions you have reached, draw from the things you have heard someone say, the things you saw, the movies, the pictures, the lectures you attended, the things you read. All of those things are being stored in your brain, and then they begin to affect you. So it's easy for me to poison your mind. It's also easy for me to lay foundation for your greatness by the words that I speak to you and the information that I pass to you. So it's very, very important that you understand this. So sometimes, even though the brain was designed to be a help, sometimes it becomes a problem. It becomes a prison for some people. It ties them down, holds them down. They are not able to move forward. They are not able to, break free from the things that are stored within them. And so when we come to God, sometimes we discover that the things we previously knew, the experiences we have had in the past, the conclusions we have reached in the past, the ideologies and the principles that we have developed in the past, these things now become a stumbling block, and we are not able to believe what God is telling us. How we look at issues affect our belief system and gets in the way and stops us from receiving from God, because we are not able to create the right atmosphere to enable God to enter and do the miracle. And so it's very, very important that you and I recognize this. So it is important that in reasoning and reaching conclusions, that will let the word of God guide us all the way. Before you reach a conclusion, let the word of God guide you in your reasoning, in your thinking, in your analysis of the things you see, the things you hear, and the things you experience. Let the word of God guide you all the way. You don't have to fully understand before you believe. You don't have to understand how it will work before you believe what God said. All you need to understand is that if God says something, it will be as God said it. If he said he will heal you, he will truly heal you. If he says you will prosper, you will truly prosper. If he says that no weapon formed against you will prosper, that means the enemy will try to stop you. The enemy will throw weapons at you, but he will not prosper. So I just believe, because of my understanding, that God does not lie, that God says only what he means, and he means everything he says, and is watching over his word to make sure they come to pass at the appointed time. So how it will work doesn't matter. All I know is that he's able to make his word good.